Hi there YouTube, Extreme Trains here. So if you have seen the community tab, you will know that this review is a little bit later than Christmas, but it's still the season, at least it is in the Northern Hemisphere where it would still be snowing. We've got here the Shivery Delivery 3-pack. Now this is one I've had my eyes on for some time, particularly because it comes with Bruno, who as far as I can tell has not been released in Australia and is not going to be. I think we've skipped to the Toby wave of the metal engine push-along engines. So it's good to get a Bruno at a reasonable price. I've been looking at this set for a long time, and it finally dropped to a price which I think may or may not be reasonable. That's going to be determined once we take a look at what's inside. So what are we waiting for? Let's do it. So here is the Shivery Delivery Pack in all its glory. I don't think these multi-pack push-along sets have been released in Australia. I certainly haven't seen them, and I get the feeling that given the way Mattel likes to restrict certain types of products to Australia for whatever reason, I have a feeling they've just skipped these kinds of packs from the Australian distribution. So you can see what we get here. We get multiple languages, Sandy the Rail Speeder and Brake Car Bruno, little winter theme on the side. The classic box, now you can see this one came from Amazon US, but I bought it via Amazon Australia. Trust me, make it make sense. You can see that it got water damaged in the post on the way here, so good thing I'm not a mint in box collector. But you can see we get all the usual blah blah on the back, and then we get another picture of Sandy and Bruno. So regular packaging, again, I don't understand why sometimes we get the little Thomas barcode and other times we don't. Please explain. But otherwise, that's what we're looking at in terms of this one. Regular kind of packaging, as I think Leokin Video has talked about. What would be so much better than all this blah blah here would be some kind of explanation of the characters, or even a reference to the show. Like looking at this, maybe there's an episode based on this, but having not seen much of All Engines Go, I haven't seen it. So it would be great to know if this was actually based on the show. But otherwise, what are we waiting for? Let's crack him open. So you can see in front of us here the 3 items you get in this set. First thing we're going to take a look at is this winter version of Sandy, which has this comically large snowplow, which conveniently I've got my Thomas here, and no, I thought they would be exactly the same mold, but they're very subtly different in terms of how they are attached. Apologies, you might hear a real train going past in the background. But otherwise, you can see if we just do the 360, what we're kind of looking at here. Again, we can see Sandy written on the bottom. We've got the snowplow, which covers her face, but it's a very cute face, even if I say so myself, with the snowflakes on it. Love the green snowplow. Again, is it accurate? No idea. Does that look cute? Yes. You can see we come around to the side. We've got the decals that should be there. Generally speaking, nothing on the back, of course. But we've got that snowy detail on top. What is missing from this version is the wheel printing, and also there's nothing on these lights. So again, it's that, I don't know if they've done it on purpose necessarily, or whether it's just cost cutting, I'm not sure, but it would be nice for those things to have remained. But otherwise, she's also a bit more of a pastel color. So this is a bit of a lighter color than the original. The original is this yellow, and you can see the wheels are slightly different as well. She's still got the little plastic molded light, and we've also got a gray insert for the cab windows. So overall, I think this is a neat looking winter Sandy, still recognizable, and again, it's as I've talked about in the minis reviews, when you do this kind of themed characters, you really need to make sure that the essence of the character isn't lost. And I think this is one where the essence of the character has been retained, has not been lost, and therefore it's pretty nice. Although it would be nice to get those details sticking around that came with the plain, if we can call it that, vanilla version. The only thing to denote is obviously this is not detachable, which is a little bit disappointing given there was the ability to detach some of her other tools that she came with. So her little bucket could detach, but this can't. So that's just a little bit unfortunate. I suspect though they have just reused this engineering, and that's what's resulted in the inability to pull it off. We also get one of these flat cars. We've seen these or similar cars before. Again, I kind of like that pastel color, and also the glitter flaking that's in the chassis is nice. Just got Thomas & Friends logo there, just the very plastic wheels. This feels very plasticky. And then we can remove the star. I wonder whether it can go on anything. It looks like it's got this kind of hole. So it would go on other trucks that have this same connection point, but you wonder whether this is one of those things where like this is a perfect opportunity for them to sell a Christmas themed set. which they haven't done in many, many years, and I don't know why. I would certainly buy it, whether it's motorized, push along, Thomas Wood, Woodland Railway, whatever it is. And this would be a great accompaniment if, for example, that set came with a Christmas tree and you could get the star for the tree by buying this set. You know, there's much... Mattel really needs to get in touch with me, because I'll design a whole product line that'll sell out in minutes. So they just if they're watching this video, just call me. I'm happy to do some consulting for you. So that is that. Basic kind of looks nice, but it's a bit ridiculous that you've got this huge flat car just for this single star, which then doesn't really do anything. However, the star of this show is the brake car Bruno, and that's because I have not seen Bruno in the flesh, and I've not had the opportunity to pick him up except for, you know, 40 Australian dollars plus shipping, which I'm sorry, I'm just not going to pay. And you can see immediately I pick him up, he's quite a heavy piece, nowhere near as heavy as Toby, but certainly I'm getting some nice weight out of him, which is good. You can see this is what he looks like on the back, lots of details there. It'd be nice if they were picked out with some more paint. Again, on the side, nothing on the wheels. I haven't got the original, so I'm not sure whether the original had the printing. I would guess that it probably does. Come to the front, we do get the nice smiley face there, and I love this little lantern that he has here at the back. That's really nice. Again, no buffer detail on this version. Potentially there is. I think there might be on the original, the standard version. And then as you can see here, we've got the painting with the snow and the star, which looks nice, and he's got that grey flecked metallic glitter finish on the roof as well as on the chassis. But otherwise, a very nice looking character. Interesting to note that he's only got the coupling on the back. I think that was really silly. I don't know why they didn't give him a coupling on this end. I get it that he normally goes at the back, but how hard would it be just to include one of these little clips at the front here like this? So that way kids have got options. I really get annoyed when companies intentionally take options away. And it's the same, I think, feedback that plenty of people have given about the Bachmann, Thomas, Percy and James, I think, don't have front couplings, even though every other engine does, when, of course, Thomas, Percy and James are probably some of the most relevant engines that have front couplings versus Gordon. And so, again, it's just a case of, I don't know why they've done this. But otherwise, he is a very nice looking brake car, and again, quite substantial. So you can see we coupled together these. It's a very interesting looking train in terms of sandy at the front. So I think what we really need to do is get this, which is the color change Thomas. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. This to me is a much, much, much nicer configuration. And it looks quite fun, quite winter. Sorry, Sandy, you've been demoted. We could also, if we wanted to go back in time, little multiverse Thomas in the multiverse energy, put this Thomas in front of it. That doesn't even look too bad, to be honest. But I think, yeah, this really works for me. This is a look. Very happy with that. Yes, that is good stuff. And you can see how he compares if we take this apart. Doing this all live on camera, you know, just so you can see what we are dealing with. If we do a bit of a comparison, you can see how Bruno scales. I think he scales relatively well. I obviously haven't really seen the show, so I don't know if this is super accurate, but we've kind of, if anything, he's probably a bit short, maybe. I'm not sure, but certainly with Toby's the outlier, so he looks extremely funky running behind Toby, but behind some of the other engines, even Whiff, who's a bit more of a normal size, that to me doesn't look too bad. So I think we've got some options. I've quickly investigated, and Bruno's wheels are not painted on the normal version, but he does have painting here on the buffers and on these little, this little fence thing, handrail. So yes, we are losing painting for the effect of this, which I never understand, because these, like, making a recolor of something is much less work than creating it from scratch. And surely you design these things so that you're making back your costs on the vanilla version. But anyway, I'm, again, not the Mattel engineer. Let's take a final quick roundup of this pack. So I paid 18 Australian dollars for this. I have seen it. You know, people who shop with Amazon know that there's a very weird algorithm that determines the prices of things. So currently, when I'm looking at the time making this video, it's 27 Australian dollars. I have seen it for as high as 45 Australian dollars, which is really weird. To me, 18 is the right price for this, because realistically, you are getting one of these engines, which is worth between 6 to 8 Australian dollars. one, you got 2 of those. Well, that's giving you $16. And then we know that she's way too small, but that's how they price her here. Plus you get this carriage, which given it's all plastic and kind of a bit of a nothing, it's just a recolor from another set. I think $2 for something like this is totally appropriate. So I think if you're paying about $18 to $20 for this set, or particularly this set, but these kind of packs, you're probably on the right track. I know some of the other packs, for example, there's a Thomas Crystal one, which had 3 little wagons, but they were all little plastic wagons. So I can kind of, again, see how you might justify that price versus the actual character you get here, as opposed to just some generic trucks. Either way, 18 is the right price. I think this is a really nice little cute Christmas set. I highly recommend you pick it up if you like interesting variations of characters. I think all these variations are great. I think you got to pay the right price for it, but if you can get it at that price, I would absolutely say pick it up, add it to your collection. This one gets the 2 thumbs up from me, even though there are some little details that are missing that would take this to the next level. So that's my thoughts on this little Shivery delivery set, but I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, because as always, that's all we've got time for. This is Extreme Trains.